channel guide and more info about NXT, visit NLSE.com. The partner, you and I will be heading out to Mexico City after this one to call that one. So that'll be an exciting game to call for sure.
The world's quickest flight over to Mexico City. So, get your butt ready there, Nate.
Absolutely, as this return is made up to the Atlanta 19-yard line and 4 scores in 4 minutes. Let's see what they can do here on this coming drive here for Atlanta. As they start off from the 19-yard line. Bryant Dynasty to throw deep over the middle. He'll find Kyle Finham. I'm sorry, that's Boo Chisholm out to the 47-yard line. They're going to go definite hurry up here with less than 4 minutes now. Back to throw once again. Bryant Dynasty over the middle. Right-hand side once again. Another completion made down the 31-yard line.
Chris Falco.
Falco again with the completion. Where was this all game long, right? Deep over the middle. This time made another catch made by Kyle Finnemore.
Yeah.
Finney,
where has this been?
Yeah, absolutely. All the way down to the 12-yard line. Snap it. Come on, buddy. Bryant Dynasty taking all the time in the world to get this one off. Finally does so. Another throw over the right-hand side. Oh, they're going to call him out of the end zone. He was open on that right-hand side, just couldn't keep a foot in bounds, was Falco.
Yeah, they should have done this about 6 minutes ago, and they're gonna challenge this. I think this is a futile call. I think that was a clear-cut, out-of-bounds play. But where's this been all game, especially in this fourth quarter? They should have used this when they had the football with 9 minutes left in this game. But now this might be too little too late. We'll have to see the review here.
We'll see what happens with this call.
He's out. He is out.
That left foot was close, but it may have been out. Let's see the call.
Wow.
Oh, he was in. He had his left foot in. They're going to call that a touchdown for Siege Falco. 6 points. That left foot must have just tapped the inside of the chalk of the inbounds of the end zone. They're going to call it a touchdown.
No, this might be a rare R62 moment. That's wrong again. I have to completely disagree with that overturn. It looked like Falco's left half of his foot at least was out of bounds. I don't know what he was seeing. I don't know what the booth was seeing. But nonetheless, Atlanta's going to take whatever they can get at this point.
As that extra point by Sammy Steele is up and good. And a sure onside kick upcoming for Atlanta with a little over 3 minutes left now in this ball game. As you see the upper left-hand corner of your screen, the score has gone final in DC as DC continues their amazing, strong season with another win over Tulsa, 31-16 score line. And this onside kick is away and recovered easily by Louisiana. As that is corralled in by the backup wide receiver, Emile Chekfunti. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say that that's as close as I can get to that name.
Yeah, I don't think I can pronounce that any better than you did. I'm Canadian, so I don't even know.
The chef. I'm going to call him the chef from now on. I see chef in his name. He's going to get called the chef. It's a wide open run by Squarebush is made up to the 32-yard line. 9.5 yards on his strong day continues.
Yeah, and strong is a great word to describe Squarebush's day here as he inches himself even closer to 150 yards in this game. He's been not quite dominant, but he has been so good for this Louisiana team all game. And he's probably one of the main reasons why Louisiana's had such an effective day offensively.
Taking time off the clock as much as possible. Another handoff made to Randy Squarebush. Gets the first down that they were looking for to keep the clock rolling. Now inside 2.5 minutes to go. And down to the 31, you got to think they're going to let this rule the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got a cruising lead at this point. They're up 21, 3 whole scores. They don't really have much to worry about. Let's get Squarebush the ball and run this clock out to the end if they have to.
split backs to the backfield this time, and they will let this run roll. The 2-minute warning. Louisiana looking to close out an impressive victory here at home over Atlanta. You're watching the SFL here on Twitch, presented by APM Music. Don't go anywhere. We'll bring you the last 2 minutes of this one. We'll be right back. Coming out in the same formation here on 1st and 10, split backs to the backfield. Hands the ball off to possibly, square bush again, race free, down to the 5-yard line, another first down, bring up a 1st and goal. He just cut through the line and got wide open for a big run, about 25 plus yards.
And they might have changed quarterbacks out there and put Whisker Lafouche in, but Randy Squarebush is still wanting to get those yards. He heard me by saying he was close to 150 yards, and I think that surpassed it for him. He's got over 150, and that's 400 yards over the last 2 games. What more could you ask for in a running back over the last 2 weeks?
I know Vancouver says Mark Salt is the best backup quarterback in the league, but
and he is.
Louisiana has something to say about that, because they'll say Whisker Lafouche is the best one, and he is in at quarterback now for Louisiana, as Atlanta will call their first time out.
I don't know. Do you call a quarterback that started 4 games of the season an official backup quarterback, or is he just a useful option to use?
I don't know. I'm gonna let you and Louisiana just handle that one yourselves, as I just back out of that one and let the ball game play out here, as another handoff is made to Randy Squarebush and down to the 2-yard line to bring up 3rd and goal, and another timeout taken by Atlanta.
Yeah, and this is just safe goings for Louisiana. They know that they've got this victory in hand, and they're basically back in the East picture here after this, getting themselves to 4-5 and pushing Atlanta below them in the standings by half a game, and now Louisiana, which we thought after the first couple weeks they weren't going to be in the East picture, now just a game back from Florida.
As a touchdown for Randy Squarebush, just pours it on here late in the 4th quarter. That'll bring the score Louisiana 41, Atlanta 14. What's more to say here, right, Brett?
Icing on the cake, essentially. And
absolutely.
Give Squarebush a hat trick for all the stuff that he's done today. That's his 30th carry of this game. We don't see many running backs get to 30 plus carries in a football game, and now Squarebush reaping the benefits. There you see 169 nice yards and 3 touchdowns out of all that. Just a fantastic job on the ground from RSB.
And 180 all-purpose yards when you count his 3 receptions into that factor, as Otis Boudreau gets the extra point up and through, making the score 42-14 here with 1:44 left. And as you stated, this win will put. Let's play out some scenarios here, because we talked about Florida's upcoming game going up into Arizona, at Arizona, coming up here this evening. Should they lose that game at Arizona later on, as this return is made by Atlanta up to about the 23-yard line, that would put Florida at 4-5 as well, because they're currently 4-4 currently. So that would put 4-5. That would put the same record as Louisiana and Florida tied at 4-5, and Atlanta half a game back at 4-6. And so that would put a real mess of things in the East Division with 3 weeks left to go here in the regular season.
And it might be the best case scenario for Florida as well, because they do have a victory over Louisiana.
Oh, deep throw over the middle. Cease Falco all the way. Touchdown in the end zone. Capping off what was a dismal day for Bryant Dynasty, but putting a little bit of smiles on Atlanta's fans' faces as they go 85 plus yards to the house.
Yeah, and you know what better thing to ask for at the end of the game, knowing that, it's kind of far to reach at this point. Doesn't matter who's in on the defense for Louisiana. You still want to get your yards, and Siege Falco pretty much was left to being, that middle option. Finally gets himself open on a deep route. He's been on the bad end of a couple intercepted throws. Unfortunately, heading his way. I believe at least 3 of them were heading towards him, but finally gets himself open and kind of shakes the monkey off his back. That's his 3rd touchdown as well. So he's been all effort from him as in this game too.
As that extra point by Sammy Steele is up and through, and that'll cut the lead into half. 42-21 is the scoreline now. 3-score deficit for Atlanta. It's the onside kick upcoming for the Swarm. Last onside kick attempt was recovered by Louisiana. Let's see what happens on this one. And this one will be recovered by Louisiana as well. And that will about do it. Atlanta will have 0 timeouts remaining on this drive, and Louisiana will just have to take about 3 knees, I believe, to just close this one out.
Yeah, 3 knees, and it's easy to go. They've got their secondary members in there. You've got Whiska Lafouche coming in on the victory formation, and back to business for them. Louisiana will now move themselves 2nd in the division, and depending on how things go, could only see themselves a half game back of Florida heading into the end of tonight.
If we've ever had a team in the SFL enter into the playoffs with a losing record in SFL history, but it's not outside the realm of possibility that it could happen this season. With the East Division as closely contested as it is, and both Louisiana and Florida currently at 4 and 5, it could happen this season. It's within the realm of possibility.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Louisiana will have definitely the better team moving forward, because they'll be the only team in this East Division after this game having a net positive in terms of points for and against, as they'll move themselves plus 11 on the season here. So everything's looking up here for Louisiana after starting 1-4 to this season. So great job turning things around here to get themselves back into division contention here.
As we'll see one more knee taken by Whiskey Lafouche here in about 10 play clock seconds. And the knee is taken. And the celebration is on here in Louisiana, as Louisiana will come out with the victory. 42-21 is the final score in this one. And Brett, as the players and coaches take the field and take in what was a great victory for the Louisiana squad, we take a look at the stats and some of the highlights here in this one. What stood out to you the most? What was the overall gist of this game?
And you can see 2 things on that team comparison right there: the difference in turnovers and the balance of play from Louisiana. 6 picks from any quarterback is not a great stat. Anyone can attest to it. You never want to see your interception side be above 3 in any game, because that could prove to be pretty doomful for any offense. But Louisiana, the secondary, did a fantastic job guessing where the ball was going to be thrown. A lot of those deep passes basically negated up until the 4th quarter we saw from Atlanta. And what Atlanta did offensively in turn was basically just balance it out. You didn't need a big game from Tommy Utah. He was sub 200 yards. He was just above 200 yards at 216. But relying on Randy Squarebush on the ground helped dividends once again. Again, another big carry game, another 30 carries. It's 56 carries over the last 2 weeks. He's been a big part of that Louisiana offense and the catalyst to this 2-game winning streak, and basically the reason why Louisiana won this game.
And I think for the keys for Atlanta and why they struggled so much, I think when they don't have a balanced offense like they didn't have today, BDG just wasn't a big enough factor in this one. He didn't have 100 total all-purpose yards in this one. I think he barely struggled to make just over 80 all-purpose yards between rushing and receiving. It was all Bryant Dynasty, and it showed with his 6 interceptions, right? I mean, he had 3 touchdowns, yes, but his 6 interceptions was just too much for him to overcome. And when he didn't have enough support from his running back, it was just too much for him, and it showed really there on the scoreboard as well.
And then Louisiana kind of forced Atlanta's hand into passing the football more after getting ahead early, getting up 21-0, eventually 28-0. So Dynasty was forced to throw that football, and they basically eliminated BDG. That's one way to eliminate him out of the game, as well as stopping him with just 3.2 yards per carry. Just all around a fantastic effort defensively from Louisiana.
Tommy Utah and Randy Squarebush each having spectacular days respectively for Louisiana's squad. Can't say enough about the great games that they've had. Who do you think is going to get the player game quickly before they get shown?
Is there any other choice other than Randy Squarebush? Let's be honest.
Let's see let's see if you're right. Let's see. It is Randy Squarebush. Today's performance: 30 attempts, 147 yards, 158 all-purpose with his 3 touchdowns. I'm Nate Hall alongside Brett Killian. Just resigned and Ron Haynes in the stats truck. Thank you, gentlemen. And yeah, and you've been watching the SFL here, presented by APM Music. Don't go anywhere. More action to come later on tonight.
We'll see you guys in about 35 minutes. Bidoo!